Hi there. It's day 262 of our chronological Bible reading. So we have read actually 7 chapters for today in the book of Hosea, beginning in chapter 1 all the way to chapter 7. For those of you who would like to join our chronological Bible reading, just visit my YouTube channel. Right? So in my YouTube channel, you'll see uh, like this video that you're watching. Look at the description box at the bottom like this one, and then just look for this show more here. Right, click on it, and then just scroll down a bit, and there you'll see my social media accounts. Okay, so my Twitter is truth insight underscore, my Instagram truth dot insight, and my Facebook page at truth insight 2020. On these social media accounts, you'll see what book to read and what chapters for the day. Now, let's share what we've learned. So, Hosea chapter 1. So, it begins with the introduction to Hosea. Let's just read the introduction. The Lord gave this message to Hosea, son of Beri, during the years when Uzziah, Jotham, Ahaz, and Hezekiah were kings of Judah, and Jeroboam, son of Jehoash, was king of Israel. And then what's interesting to note here is that what happened to Hosea, right? When the Lord first began speaking to Israel through Hosea, he said to him, "Go and marry a prostitute, so that some of her children will be conceived in prostitution." This will illustrate how Israel has acted like a prostitute by turning against the Lord and worshiping other gods. Now let's jump to the next chapter. It's chapter 2. So it's about Israel being compared to an unfaithful wife, right? So let's just read a few verses. But now bring charges against Israel, your mother, for she is no longer my wife. I am no longer her husband. So chapter 2, then just quickly browse to the next chapter 3. So Hosea's wife is redeemed. Then the Lord said to me, "Go and love your wife again, even though she commits adultery with another lover." This will illustrate that the Lord still loves Israel, even though the people have turned to other gods to love to worship them. So I bought her back for 15 pieces of silver and 5 bushels of barley and a measure of wine. Then I said to her, "You must live in my house for many days and stop your prostitution. During this time, you will not have sexual relations with anyone, not even with me." This shows that Israel will go a long time without a king or prince and without sacrifices, sacred pillars, priests, or even idols. But afterward, the people will return and devote themselves to the Lord their God and to David's descendant, their king. In the last days, they will tremble in awe of the Lord and of his goodness. Jumping on to the next chapter, chapter 4. Now, let's scroll down to here, verse 12, right? Here, verse 12. Let's just highlight this. Where's the highlighter? Let me just, yeah. They ask a piece of wood for advice, right? They think a stick can tell them the future. Longing after idols has made them foolish. They have played the prostitute, serving other gods and deserting their God. Now, what you notice here is that it crossed my mind, like you see, again, I'll just highlight. They ask a piece of wood for advice, right? So, like, I remember that even during these pandemic times, some church still encouraged worship of a replica of a burned idol. I find it hard to believe that they don't see this being detestable to God. But anyway, let's move on to the next chapter, chapter 5, and then let's go to all the way to verse 15, right? That's verse 15. Let me just highlight it again for clarity. Then I will return to my place until they admit their guilt and turn to me. For as soon as trouble comes, they will earnestly search for me. Right? Then I will return to my place until they admit their guilt and turn to me. For as soon as trouble comes, they will earnestly search for me. Unfortunately, for some people, troubles are necessary for them to pray to God and humble themselves. They wait for problems before they pray. If they don't have problems, they don't pray. They don't. I don't know if they really believe in God or what. Anyway, let's jump to the next chapter, chapter 6, and then scroll all the way to this verse. Let's just highlight verse 6. I want you to show love, not offer sacrifices. I want you to know me more than I want burnt offerings. So what does it mean? For some people, it's easy to offer things. Right? It's easy to offer sacrifices, to offer burnt offerings, or easy to give tithes, but it's hard for them to really show love and forgiveness. And they're too lazy to read the Bible to know more about God. They're not even praying to God. So, yeah, moving on to the next book, the last one for today, chapter 7, the next chapter rather. And then let's scroll just a little bit here on verse 2. Let me highlight again. Verse 2. Its people don't realize that I am watching them. Their sinful deeds are all around them, and I see them all. Again, Its people don't realize that I am watching them. Their sinful deeds are all around them, and I see them all. For some people, they just, if they believe in God, and God is everywhere all the time. So God can see anything that we do anytime. And then they say they believe in God. Yeah, yeah. That's all for today. See you again next time.